Welcome to ComfortTV.channel news, bringing you verified and balanced news from Nigeria and around the world. My name is Faith Kevin. Thank you for joining us again this morning. In the headlines, Enugu Labour Party Chairman Entire Ward and Excos resigned, joined Governor Mba in APC. Abia partners with foreign firms to turn waste into wealth. Governor Otti wants those planning to rig 2027 elections to right their wheels. Rivers cancels 134 billion naira contract awarded by former administrator Ibas. FCT Minister Wike slams Mr. Obi, says Nigeria is too complex for social media presidency. Eze Anaba urges Nigerians to treat mental health with empathy, not punishment. On business, depot owners in trouble as Dangote Refinery resumes bulk sales at 877 naira per litre. IMF forecast decline in Nigeria's debt to GDP ratio. On the foreign scene, Malaysia government proposes banning smartphones for under 16s to tackle school violence. Indonesia announces cash handout and internship program to stimulate economy. On sports, award-winning Nigerian coach sets record under new FIFA VAR card rule. Engineer Nkom elected into AFHF executive board in Egypt. Now the news. Barely 48 hours after the political tsunami that swept the entire People's Democratic Party (PDP) structure in Enugu into the All Progressives Congress (APC), the chairman of the Labour Party in Enugu East local government area, Afam Joseph Ogbene, has resigned from the party along with the entire ward's executive and defected to the APC. Addressing APC leaders and a crowd of supporters who equally joined him in the party at Umuchibu Ijinike Civic Center, Ogbene said his decision was inspired by the foresight and purposeful leadership of Governor Peter Mba, who officially moved from the PDP to the APC on Tuesday. He described the decision as difficult but necessary, noting that the move was in alignment with his desire to support Mba's developmental vision for Enugu State. Ogbene added that his supporters and ward executive had also resolved to join the APC in solidarity with the governor's uncommon and unprecedented developmental strides. Receiving Ogbene and his team, on behalf of the governor, the Honorable Commissioner for Rural Development, Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Deacon Oke Obodo, commended their courage and described the defection as a total collapse of the Labour Party in Enugu East. On his part, the chairman of Enugu East local government area, Pastor Beloved Dan Anike, welcomed Ogbene into the APC, noting that the collapse of the Labour Party in Enugu East local government is a first in the entire state and was a thing of joy. Abia state government is partnering with foreign companies for the conversion of numerous wastes into the state into energy and wealth. The initiative, according to the governor, is aimed at generating millions of dollars to the state's coffers. Dr. Alex Otti, the governor of the state, who disclosed this in Umuahia, said the initiative is to make the huge debris generated in the state a durable source of income rather than a source of disease and discomfort. Governor Otti, who spoke during his October 2025 edition of his monthly media parley tagged Governor Alex Otti Speaks to Abians, explained that his administration has since inception made the collection and disposal of waste a priority in the scheme of things, adding that the declaration of the state of emergency on waste has been fruitful so far. On the continued criticism of his administration by the Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, Otti described that Kalu's attacks on him is a cheap way of discrediting him in order to position himself for the governorship race in 2027. According to him, the Deputy Speaker attacks are more of ignorance and arrogance than rightly informing the people on what his government is doing to revive ailing and moribund industries in the state. The governor asserted that the acquisition of some moribund industries by the state, like the Star Paper Mills Limited, has been concluded. Others to be acquired, he added, include the Agro Beverages in Aba Textile Mills Limited, and Modern Ceramics PLS Umuahia, amongst others. On why the government is acquiring moribund industries, Governor Otti informed that the whole idea is not to run or own them, but to create jobs and improve internally generated revenue to the state. On education, the Abia governor stated the government has made tremendous progress in the education sector, pointing out that over 4,000 teachers will be recruited to add to the over 5,000 who had begun teaching. To make the schools better for learning, Governor Otti informed that some school buildings which were dilapidated has been pulled down, while others are on the verge of being removed for reconstruction. He explained that the health sector has also been given a reasonable boost, saying that 771 health professionals are recruited in Abia State. He further said that for the health sector, non-Nigerians were part of candidates that applied for the current recruitment exercise of health workers in the state, adding that the process has remained transparent. On security, the governor called on all Nigerians to be security conscious and report all security breaches to the appropriate quarters, even as he advised Abia indigenous to endeavor to visit the newly completed Michael Okpara Auditorium to see the good works of his administration. Governor Alex Otti of Abia State has warned individuals allegedly plotting to rig the 2027 governorship election in the state to right their wills before planning to subvert the will of the people. Governor Otti issued the warning during his monthly media interaction with journalists at the government house in Umuahia, the state capital. The governor said he had received reports that some political actors were already holding meetings and planning to take over the state through unlawful means ahead of the 2027 polls. Governor Otti also cautioned politicians against engaging in premature political campaigns, noting that doing so contravenes electoral laws. He urged aspirants and their supporters to wait for the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to officially announce the timetable for political campaigns. The governor emphasized that any political gathering or public declaration of intention before INEC's official timetable amounts to early campaigning. Governor Otti, who came to power under the Labour Party in 2023, maintained that the people of Abia will freely choose their next leader through the ballot box. The Rivers State Executive Council has cancelled a 134 billion naira contract awarded by the past sole administrator of the state, Vice Admiral Ikot Ete Ibas, retired. The contract is for the reconstruction of the aging State Secretariat complex in Port Harcourt. The contract was awarded to the CCECC during the period of emergency rule by Ibas. The council, which reached this decision at this meeting, also directed the company to refund the 20 billion naira mobilization fee it has received. The council approved a 6-man committee headed by the Deputy Governor of the state, Professor Ngozi Odu, to evaluate and make recommendations for the construction of computer-based test centers across the state to facilitate the conduct of external examinations. The council further directed the flood committee headed by the Deputy Governor to take immediate action to address flooding in the state and caution residents against blocking drainage channels. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Nyesom Wike, came down hard on the 2023 Labour Party's presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, questioning his leadership credentials and his capacity to govern Nigeria. The FCT minister, who spoke at the commissioning of 2 newly constructed roads in the Mabushi area of Abuja, ridiculed Mr. Peter Obi's constant criticism of government, saying he lacked the credibility to lecture anyone on governance, having, according to him, failed as Anambra's governor. He said Mr. Obi will continue to contest as president on social media, but not as president of Nigeria. The former Rivers governor accused the former Anambra governor of hypocrisy, noting that while he flaunts public shows of compassion, his record in Anambra State tells a different story. He went further to allege that ex-governor Obi prioritized personal profit over development during his 8 years in office. Turning from politics to governance, the minister stressed the importance of good citizenship and responsiveness, narrating how a senior advocate of Nigeria's son, Damian Dodo, drew his attention to the poor state of Kes Udezwe Street, which led to swift intervention. FCT Minister of State, Dr. Maria Mahmood, in her remarks, hailed President Bola Tinubu for his steady leadership and described the minister, Wike, as the driver of the renewed hope agenda. in the capital city. Editor of Vanguard newspaper Mr. Eze Anaba has urged Nigerians to show greater sympathy and support toward people battling mental health challenges, stressing that mental well-being must be treated as a national priority and not a luxury. Speaking at the third edition of the Mental Health Summit for Vanguard held in Lagos, Mr. Anaba said the event had grown into one of Nigeria's most respected platforms for advocacy and dialogue on mental health since its inception in 2021. He noted that the summit themed stemming the rising tide of suicide in Nigeria, with the sub-theme Substance and Silence, unmasking the dual crisis of addiction and suicide, was timely given the rise in economic hardship and emotional distress among Nigerians. Citing a recent World Bank report that placed 139 million Nigerians below the poverty line, an increase of 9 million from previous figures, Mr. Anaba said the harsh economic situation was worsening mental distress across the country. While acknowledging that mental health challenges stem from diverse causes beyond poverty, he stressed that empathy and social compassion must guide national conversation. He commended the summit partners, sponsors, and facilitators for their continued support, describing their contributions as critical to building a more inclusive and compassionate society. ComfortTV.channel's news returns shortly with business, foreign, and sports news. Many thanks for staying tuned. This is Comfort TV, the channel news. On business news, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery has resumed full operations while raising the gantry price of premium motor spirit PMS, also known as petrol, by 7% to 877 naira per litre from 820 naira per litre. Oil marketers buying 2 million litres and above will benefit from the relatively low price. The refinery gantry price remains lower than the 890 to 900 naira per litre depot price charged by many depot owners. According to data released by petroleumprice.ng, depot owners such as Pinnacle and Rain Oil put their depot prices at 890 naira and 885 naira per litre respectively. The data also showed that Optima and Matrix put their depot prices at 880 naira and 890 naira per litre, respectively. Chief Executive Officer of Petroleum Price, Olatide Jeremiah, said the downstream sector continues to witness the price war. He said with its huge size and capacity, the 650,000 barrels per day refinery continues to determine the pace and depot owners and others have to follow. The president of the Oil and Gas Service Providers Association of Nigeria, Oxpan Mazi Obasi, said the management and staff of Dangote Refinery should be commended for the successful commencement of operations and their resilience in overcoming various economic and operational challenges posed by saboteurs within the oil and gas value chain. Mazi Obasi said the establishment and success of the Dangote Refinery represents a significant milestone in Nigeria's quest for energy independence and economic stability. He assured that Oxpan remains committed to partnering with the refinery in advocacy and public enlightenment efforts aimed at educating Nigerians on the immense benefits of local refining to the national economy, job creation, and foreign exchange stability. Still on business, Nigeria's fiscal outlook is projected to strengthen over the medium term as the International Monetary Fund (IMF) forecast a gradual decline in the country's gross debt to GDP ratio to 41.4% by 2026, down from 42.2% in 2025. In its latest fiscal monitor report for October. The IMF, in the report released in Washington, D.C., noted that Nigeria's public debt profile is expected to stabilize between 41.1% and 41.4% of GDP from 2027 through 2030, signaling improved fiscal discipline. Speaking at the Fiscal Monitor press briefing, David Forcheri, division chief in the IMF's Fiscal Affairs Department, commended Nigeria's fiscal reforms, noting that recent policy adjustment had placed the country on a more sustainable fiscal path. He added that greater efficiency in public spending and stronger social investments will be key to achieving inclusive fiscal outcomes. Foreign now, Malaysian Prime Minister Mr. Anwar Ibrahim said several measures were proposed during a cabinet meeting discussing the increase in violence at national schools, among them banning the use of smartphones for those under 16 years old. He also said there was a discussion for the Home Ministry and the police to increase existing security monitoring at schools nationwide. The Prime Minister said other recommendations include the development of ethical educational content that involves parents and the Parents-Teacher Association (PIBG). He said decisions in such a serious matter as education and children cannot be made in a haste. According to Mr. Anwar, the cabinet meeting discussed at length about education, disciplinary issues, and also public concerns. Recall that on October 14, a 14-year-old male suspect allegedly stabbed a 16-year-old female victim outside the girls' toilet at 9:10 a.m. using a weapon that was brought into school. The 16-year-old died from multiple stab wounds to her chest and neck. The boy has been remanded by the Pentaling Jaya Magistrates Court to assist in investigations. Still on the foreign scene, Indonesia has launched a new economic stimulus package that includes cash handouts totaling 30 trillion rupiah, which equals $1.81 billion, for 35 million households, and expanded a planned paid internship scheme. The cash handouts will be distributed as early as next week and will last until the end of the year. The new package comes on top of a nearly $1 billion stimulus announced in September, which consisted of food assistance, temporary jobs in construction, and also launched the internship program. Chief Economic Minister Mr. Erlangga Hartarto said that this will now be extended to a total of 100,000 university graduates, up from 20,000 under the previous plan. State Secretariat Minister Mr. Prasetyo Hadi said the budget for the additional 80,000 interns was allocated at around 1.4 trillion rupiah. Separately, the Finance Ministry published a regulation stating that the government will cover 6% out of the 11% value-added tax on economy class domestic fares for the travel period of December 22 to January 10. Discounts for air travel for the year-end holidays were included in the stimulus package the government announced last month to encourage spending. On sports, the Federation of International Football (FIFA) trialed a new rule during the Under-20 World Cup tournament in Chile, and Nigerian coach Aliyu Zubeiru was a part of it. The Flying Eagles were knocked out in the round of 16 by Argentina, but their route to the knockout stage saw them awarded 2 penalties courtesy of the VAR. FIFA is currently trailing a new rule during the ongoing Under-20 competition, allowing coaches of each team to request the intervention of the video assistant referee during the game. Each coach is allowed to make 2 requests per game, and one of the requests made by Aliyu Zubeiru against Colombia in the 85th minute bore fruit as the on-field referee Muhammad Nazmi bin Nasaruddin went to the screen to view a handball situation. After review, he pointed to the spot after initially waving the decision off. Daniel Bameye stepped up a minute later to score the penalty, handing Nigeria a point and sending them to the round of 16, where they played against Argentina on October 8. Each opposing manager receives a card, 1 purple and 1 blue, which can only be used by the manager or, in their absence, another senior team official. Additionally, players have the option to request reviews from their managers. Requests for reviews can only be submitted just after the incident has happened. By spinning their finger in the air and presenting their review request card to the 4th official, a manager can ask for a review. Instead of the massive multi-camera system utilized in major leagues, the FIFA FVS cards are intended for use in games where up to 4 cameras cover matches. Whether FIFA will implement this new rule in larger competitions is currently unknown, but it appears the introduction has yielded results at the Under-20 World Cup. Still on sports, the president of the Nigeria Hockey Federation (NHF), Engineer Simon Nkom, has been elected to the executive board of the African Hockey Federation (AFHF) at its 25th Ordinary Congress in Ismailia, Egypt. The prestigious Congress, which brought together top hockey administrators and stakeholders from across the continent, marked a new chapter in the leadership structure of African hockey. Engineer Nkom's election is widely regarded as a recognition of his consistent dedication and outstanding contributions to the growth and development of hockey in Nigeria and beyond. In his remarks, he expressed deep appreciation for the confidence reposed in him by his peers and reaffirmed his commitment to serve selflessly in advancing the sport at the continental level. The Federation described Engineer Nkom and Professor Agbo's achievement as a testament to Nigeria's growing influence in continental hockey and their unwavering dedication to nurturing the dream of sustained hockey excellence. And that's our news bulletin for the morning. But before we go, here is a recap of our top stories. Enugu Labour Party Chairman entire ward ESCOs resign, join Governor Mba in APC. Governor Otti warns those planning to rig 2027 election to right their wheels. Rivers State cancels 134 billion naira contract awarded by former administrator Ibas. FCT Minister Wike slams Mr. Obi, says Nigeria is too complex for social media presidency. Eze Anaba urges Nigerians to treat mental health with empathy, not punishment. On business, depot owners in trouble as Dangote refinery resumes bulk sales at 877 naira per litre. Foreign, Malaysia government proposes banning smartphones for under 16s to tackle school violence. And on sports, award-winning Nigerian coach sets new record on the new FIFA VAR card rule. Thanks for watching. For breaking news, exclusive interviews and more, follow us online at ComfortTV.channel on all platforms. Remember to like and share our videos, subscribe to our channel, and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates. My name is Faith Kevin. Until next time, stay informed, stay connected.